The NFL trends stay sizzling hot, but we suck. Let's talk some football. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and we are here to talk NFL Week 6 recap and preview and give out some best bets for that Monday night football game between the Cowboys and the Chargers. Wow, we got a lot to get into, guys. How about the trends? Unfreaking believable. 10-2 weekend now, 51-14. Can you imagine if we only gave out bets on this channel based on those trends that I give you guys? 51-14 would be absolutely loaded. We'll talk a little bit more about that lately, but holy cow, it's insane. As for the betting, it was our worst weekend on the freaking channel for NFL betting. I don't know how else to say it. It just sucked. We got some bad beats, but it was just a weird day in the NFL overall. Probably the worst NFL day I've had personally. But you know what? We pretty much gave up all of our profit that we made this year. And you know what? We'll go over the bets recap and we'll go through all that. It was frustrating. It was tough. Hang in there. We are focused. We are going to be ready to go. We're ready to get back after it. Hopefully, you guys are too. But we'll go over all the bets recap here in a second. Um, NFL, the two best and undefeated teams just lost to Zach Wilson and PJ Walker. Let that sink in. It's just mind boggling. The Rams and 49ers combined for a total. Sorry, the Rams and Bills combined for a total of 6 points in the first halves. I don't know. That was against the Giants and Cardinals, guys, not against the top two defenses. Brock Purdy looked awful. Gardner Minshew looked horrendous today. There was just some weird crap happening. Leave a comment below. Let me know how you guys did. I know a lot of people that struggled to have a really profitable day, but hopefully you guys did. And if you did, leave a comment below because we need some positive vibes after that Sunday. That's for sure. In this video, we're going to go over those Week 6 bets recap. Again, warning, my worst betting weekend I've had in the NFL this year and probably in a very, very long time, but we will bounce back. We're going to go over that head-to-head bet between me and Ryan. I'm going to give you 3 takeaways from the NFL Week 6 and everything else. And please listen to these takeaways this time because I have a question for you guys. I'm actually curious. It's a conversation I want to have with you guys. And then the Monday Night Football preview and best bets, Cowboys and the Chargers. We actually have a good Monday Night Football game. So I'm excited. Before we dive into all this, hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. Leave that comment below. Let me know how your NFL Sunday went. Hopefully you guys tailed those trends and faded my bets on Sunday. That's for sure. But anyways, no more waiting. Let's get right into the bets recap. All right, there it is, guys. You want to bash me? Leave a comment below and bash me. That's fine. We've had a good start to the NFL, but man, oh man, did this freaking suck. Pacheco, longest rush, did not hit it on Thursday Night Football. He had a 15-yard run. We needed a 17. Go figure. Under 42.5 New Orleans, Houston. Of course that hit because that was a trend. So that was a winner. Bills team total over 29.5. Again, I repeat, 0 freaking points at halftime. I think 0 after 3 quarters against the Giants. What? Anyways, Rams team total over 27.5. They absolutely finally turned it on and played like the Rams offense and fell just short at 26%. And it's all because they got 6 freaking points in the first half. Can you tell I'm upset? I'm just upset at my teams, my bets. Not excuses, I'm just mad. Ryan's bets, Seahawks money line. They had first and goal. They had 4 chances to win the game, and they did not at the very end of the game, and they freaking lost. The O-line couldn't protect in the last couple plays. That one hurt. That one hurt me. That one hurt Ryan. Our texts were not happy. They were just not happy texts to each other, I'll tell you that. 49ers -1, Eagles -1. How about both teams losing? How's that? Freaking A. 0-2 for Ryan after 1-3 for me. Then the trends parlay. Almost hit. That was the closest one. That would have been absolutely huge. Under 41.5 New England Vegas. That hit again. The Lions -3 hit again. The only trend and one of the only 2 trends that did not win, of course, we had to pick, and it was the 49ers -7. Again, we won last week at plus 565. This one just fell short. Anytime touchdowns. Kenneth Walker scored early in that game for a nice winner. And all these are half units that we always do every week for anytime touchdowns. Lights, camera, action did not work. The Saints offense sucks. I shouldn't have bet a guy on the Saints offense, but it is what it is. DJ Moore touchdown. I mean, how? How could you possibly score a touchdown when Justin Fields sucks and the whole Bears offense sucks? Anyways, oh man, I'm fired up today, guys. Player props. I am done betting Matthew Stafford over passing yards. Good Lord, that first half was awful, and he got up to almost 230, I think. But again, That Rams game killed me on 2 bets. He just could not get it done. The second half, he was in too much of a hole. Jake Elliott over 1.5 field goals. Again, 3+ field goal attempts in every game. He attempted 0, I believe. 0. Maybe 1 if I missed one, but he didn't make it if he did. 0, guys. Unbelievable. Downs for the Colts just didn't get it done. The Colts offense sucked because of Gardner Minshew. He was horrendous. We'll talk about that game more. Michael Pittman caught one long one. Other than that, they didn't do much on offense. Drake London over 3.5 catches. That was the easiest bet of the day. He went over this early in the game. I should have laddered it up to like 5 or 6 or something. I think he ended up with 6. But Derrick Henry, here's another one. This might be the most frustrating. I'm going to end with it. Okay, Derrick Henry and Joe Mixon under rush yards. Okay, Derrick Henry had one run that was over 60 yards. Other than that, he had under 40 yards. Joe Mixon went well under his total of 61.5. I was one carry away from hitting a plus 249. One. I know I'm complaining. It is what it is. I'm just saying one long run killed it, and it was on a Derrick Henry like wildcat snap directly to him, and there's a huge hole on the right side, and he took off. That's all it took. And now I lost the plus 249. So I love the read on that one. Like I said, both defenses absolutely shut down the running game, except for that one Derrick Henry run. So that is the bad day, guys. And I'm not making excuses. We have to get better. Those were not good enough bets. It was a weird day in the NFL, and we will bounce back. Let's check the overall records now, just so you guys have an idea. Even with my 1-3 days, somehow I am still 16-10, up almost 6 units on the game bets this year. Ryan's game bets, he is on, I think, an 0-4 streak. I might be wrong. It's been brutal. It's been tough. He's had games go down to the wire, but you know what? It is what it is. Down 4.39 units. Anytime touchdowns, down 2.5 units right now. We were doing 1 units in the first couple weeks, but we've limited that to half unit each. Player props, they were rolling, guys. Absolutely rolling, and now we're like 2-6 or something in our last 8, something around that, and it's taken a downfall. But you know what? We will bounce back. I like NFL player props. I'm going to keep getting back to the lab. Down 2.13 units on that. Trends parlay now 1-1, up 4.65 units. We are not counting it. It is not official. Overall record 40-44, down 2.06 units. We were just up over 6 units at one point a couple weeks ago. It just takes 1 week to turn it around. So that, and it did. This 1 week turned it around for the negative. But that's what we got. Oh man, that was long-winded. I just had to talk about these games. It was frustrating. It was rough, but we're getting back to the grind, and I hope you guys too. Let's do it together. Let's turn this around. But before we get into the Monday Night Football preview, let's talk the head-to-head bet. All right, let's talk the head-to-head bet. If you thought I was already irritated, let's get more irritated now. Freaking A. I had the Colts plus 4.5. Ryan had the Jags minus 4.5. Ryan, congratulations on your win. I'll let you gloat first.
I can't even gloat. I am so upset and pissed off about how the rest of the weekend went for us as far as the channel, the bets, the Seahawks freaking sucking. I mean, I would much rather win some of my best bets than these going 4-2. I'd almost rather change that around a little bit because this is frustrating. Thankfully, the Jags won. Excited, yay! But man, once again, you picking the crappy team, like I mentioned, bite you in the ass. But Jags won,
The
so I'll take it.
the Colts are not crappy. First of all, let me just explain something. They had way more yardage than the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, Gardner Minshew freaking blew it. Like I absolutely blew it. 3 interceptions. They had 1 fumble. They had way more yards than the Jaguars. I mean, way more yards. It wasn't even close. They held the Jaguars to like 230 total yards. But when you make 4 turnovers in an NFL game, you have 0 chance of winning. And 2 of those turnovers, they were driving, and it ended up turning into 2 touchdowns for the Jaguars. 28-point swing. It is what it is. But why do I keep picking teams that turning the ball over? It's killing me. The Jags didn't run the ball well. They didn't pass the ball well. Lawrence, I think, had under 200 yards passing. Jags did not look very good, but they got lucky because Gardner Minshew's mustache got in the freaking way of every pass. He air melts and throws. Good Lord. I don't even know what else to say. Anything that could happen wrong did go wrong. It is what it is. Congratulations. You are now 4-2. I am 2-4. You haven't won in a while, so I just want to make sure I kept you in there, in the loop here a little bit. But that's what it is, guys. That's the head-to-head bet. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you guys bet this game. Colts plus 4.5 was the side that the Sharps were on, and it did not work out because Gardner Minshew absolutely crapped the bed. That's what he did. All right, that's the head-to-head bet. Now, let's talk some NFL takeaways. All right, my takeaway number 1 is actually something that has to do with our channel, not necessarily a certain football game. The trends on this page, like I mentioned earlier, are scorching freaking hot, guys. And I have a question for you later on in this one. They are 51-12 so far. Imagine if I was smart enough to just bet all of these trends and that be all my best bets. I may be the hottest better on planet Earth in the NFL right now, 51-12. It's insane right now. I don't know why, but we made two three-leg parlays, hit one, just missed out on the other, so hit five of those 6 legs total. Um, just so you guys know what I do, I gather a lot of trends, whether it's in articles or websites or videos or whatever it is. I gather all the best trends and then I put them on this page for you guys, but I don't take every one of them. If there's some trends that are like, this team covers this 53% of the time, that to me is not that big of an advantage. That's why you see more trends that are like 13-3 against the spread or something that's like 80, 90%, 70%. So that's what I give you. And if I really disagree, I just don't even put it on the trends page. But these trends, I never would have expected this. This is absolutely insane. Let me know if you guys are getting some winners, but let me know why you think these trends are huge in the NFL. I put these in here every week because I always thought trends in the NFL were huge, whether it's home away games or coaching meaning more for NFL games as opposed to other sports. Whatever it is, there's because some of these trends are because of coaches, whether it's halftime adjustments or how they recover off a loss or anything like that. But leave a comment. Let me know why you think these trends are just unbelievable because it really is wild. But that's my takeaway number one. Just want to talk about the trends, see what you guys think, and see if you guys are using that to go get some winners. Because if you are not, obviously you're missing out. I'm missing out. 51-12. So that's takeaway number one. Takeaway number two: the Lions are not just good; they are really freaking good, guys. They really are. And I know they beat the Bucks. I'm not going to sit here and say they beat the best team ever, but they struggled to run the ball today. And it still didn't matter because why? They are such a balanced team. It just is insane. For some teams, if you take away their identity, who they are, they struggle. Like if you just shut down the Falcons' running game, more than likely Ritter and the Falcons are not going to score many points, and you should be good. The Lions threw for like I think it was 380 yards today versus the Bucks because they couldn't run the ball. It's just crazy. Also, the defense has taken a huge step forward this year, going from one of the worst run defenses in the league last year to one of the top three defenses this year against the run. They're just not really bad at anything. They're top 10 in both rush and pass offense. On defense, they have the second best run defense and 16th in pass defense. 16th is average, still not that bad. Seventh in quarterback pressure rate this year. That's right. Aiden Hutchinson and those boys are getting it done. They're an extremely balanced team. Sometimes it looks a little boring, whether they just run the ball 35 times or maybe they have to use Jared Goff play action and use the passing game. But the Lions play good D. It starts in the trenches on the D line. It starts in the trenches on the O line. They are special, guys. They are something special. I really think they can keep up with the Eagles and 49ers. Now, listen, the Eagles and 49ers looked awful this weekend, but, it is what it is. It's 1 week. We all know the Eagles and 49ers are still elite teams. So, my takeaway is the Lions are just freaking good. That's right. So, let's go to takeaway number three. And this is where I want to ask you guys a question because I'm really curious. You got to put on your GM hat now. The Bears may have the number one and number two pick in this upcoming draft. Just imagine that. I don't remember the last time I've ever seen that, or maybe it's never happened. Now, either way, they might have the number one and number 3 or 4 pick. And the reason is they have the Carolina Panthers draft pick. That's right, the Carolina Panthers, the 0-6 Panthers, who continue to suck. Frank Reich continues to coach a very conservative game every single week, and they continue to lose. They don't have a lot of weapons, obviously. Adam Thielen is unbelievable, but enough about the Panthers. The Bears, literally, they have their own pick, and they have 1 win or 2 wins, maybe. And then they got the Panthers pick. So if you are the Bears and you have the number one pick, do you draft Caleb Williams? Do you draft one of these college stud quarterbacks and move on from Justin Fields that you drafted just a few years ago, or do you keep Fields and use these 2 picks to load up on other parts of your roster? Because let's face it, the Bears need a lot of help everywhere, not just at quarterback, like offensive line, all that kind of stuff, pass rush. Let me know what you guys think. I'm curious. Even if you're not a Bears fan, I just want to hear, what you guys would do because that's an interesting decision. To me, my honest opinion, I think I've seen enough from Justin Fields where I gotta move on, and it's time to go draft another quarterback, and that's what I would do. It'd be kind of weird, just to move on like that, but Justin Fields better show something quick, or it's not going to be pretty. So, just wanted to point that out. There's a lot going on in the NFL. Obviously, we could have takeaways like the best teams. We already talked about losing the 49ers, Eagles to terrible quarterbacks. It's how does PJ Walker beat the 49ers, guys? That alone just tells you what week 6 was all about. But anyways, those are my 3 takeaways from this weekend, and now it's time for Monday Night Football. Quite the matchup with the Cowboys at the Chargers. Cowboys minus 1.5, over under of 51 points. That's right. We got a high total. Let's just preview the game. I got some trends to give out for this game, too, which you know what that means. That's always some winners, right? Chargers are coming off a bye in this one, and the Cowboys are coming off a beatdown. That's right. Absolute beatdown by the 49ers last week. The trend I already mentioned in Wednesday video. I'm just repeating it in case you missed it or forgot. The Cowboys are 10-1 against the spread when coming off of a loss since 2021, which I think is when Mike McCarthy came out as the head coach. So after a loss, they cover the number very, very well. They are 1.5 point favorites in this one. Trend number two, the Chargers have played in games. This is more of a fact, this first one. They have played in games decided by 7 points or less in 17 of their last 22. That is insane. No matter who they play, it's always freaking close. Whether it's the Dolphins early this year or whether it's a crappy team, it does not matter. Trend number three, this is wild. I heard this in a video. Justin Herbert, 32 and 22 and 1 against the spread in the first half. He is a very good first half quarterback. There is no one worse in the NFL in the second half than Justin Herbert. And a lot of that is coaching and making adjustments at halftime that Brandon Staley absolutely sucks, in my opinion. He is 15. Herbert is 15 and 34 and 5 against the spread in the second half. The worst in the league, like I mentioned. Just want to point that out in case maybe the Cowboys are a little bit down at halftime or something, or whatever it is. Take the Cowboys second half line. Maybe live bet the Cowboys. Not a bad option because Justin Herbert and the Chargers just know how to fold. Or maybe you just take the Chargers on the against the spread or money line on the first half only. Just thoughts. Just want to point the trend out. But some more stats. Chargers dead last in the league versus the pass, giving up 300 yards per game through the air, and they're very average versus the run. So nothing special there. Cowboys are the opposite. They are second best this year versus the pass, giving up only 168.6 yards per game through the air and 21st versus the run. Now, yes, the Cowboys are second versus the pass this season in regards to yardage, but keep this in mind. I just want to point this out because I want to make sure I give out both sides so you guys can make the best judgment and decision for yourself because that's what it's all about. The QBs that the Cowboys have faced: Brock Purdy, Mac Jones, Josh Dobbs, Zach Wilson, Daniel Jones. That's who they face, guys. Herbert and this Chargers offense will be the best offense that they have faced this year, at least best passing offense. Sorry, 49ers are a good offense, obviously, but um, also, surprisingly, these two teams are actually pretty even at putting pressure on quarterbacks. You wouldn't think that. The Cowboys 21.5% quarterback pressure rate, Chargers 20.6%. Micah Parsons not exactly performing like he usually does the last few weeks. Maybe this is the game where he absolutely breaks out. I think he does. But 0 sacks and only 2 tackles total in the last 2 weeks. That's not the Micah Parsons we know. He is the TJ Watt of the Cowboys. So if he doesn't perform, this Cowboys defense does tend to struggle. They need him to do well, although TJ Watt, I don't think ever struggles. He's unbelievable. But that's what we got. I wanted to give you guys all the info, all the stats, all the trends. That's the Monday Night Football video. Now, with all that, what's my best bet? Lord help me. Cowboys moneyline minus 125 on DraftKings is my favorite bet. Two teams that are hard to trust. We know that. But people shouldn't probably look at just how the Cowboys looked last week. And that's what a lot of the public might do. Oh, they got killed by the 49ers, which is the best team in the league, probably. So they're not looking good. They're fading. Let's get the Chargers coming off a bye, all that blah, 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 blah. No, I'm going to go with the trend. That's not the reason I'm betting it, but I'm going with that trend. 10-1 against the spread off a loss. The Cowboys lose when Dak struggles. I don't see him struggling a lot this game, to be honest with you. He's facing the worst pass defense in the entire NFL. If he struggles in this one, it might be time to move on from Dak, even though we are kind of getting close to that. But I think the Cowboys are going to have a good offensive game, a good balanced game with Pollard, CeeDee Lamb, all that kind of stuff. I think they can score some points here. And something tells me Micah Parsons kind of goes off this game and becomes the Micah Parsons that we know. And also, Brandon Staley, he knows how to freaking find ways to lose. He just does. He loses close games. He makes dumb decisions. He's probably going to go for it on fourth down on his own 25 at one point and just make decisions that will help the Cowboys win this game. I didn't want to take minus 1.5, by the way, because when you get minus 125, you might as well take the money line. You don't want to lose a bet just because they won by 1 point. Chargers, again, they may be up after the first half. Don't freak out if you're a Cowboys fan. Maybe live bet it to double down, or if you want to hedge, you can. But I think the Cowboys in the second half, especially, are going to run away with this game. That's my best bet. Now, I almost made another bet, an official bet, but instead I'm just going to call it a lean, nothing official. I like CeeDee Lamb over 71.5 receiving yards. It's that squeaky wheel treatment that we've talked about before. guys, he was pissed last game. He didn't get the ball enough. Mike McCarthy said we need to get him the ball a lot more. How many times have we seen that in the NFL? A guy gets mad and he gets the ball over and over again. And now he's facing the Chargers. Oh, by the way, they give up the most fantasy points in the league to wide receivers. I know it's fantasy points, not receiving yards. It's the same thing. It means they absolutely suck versus receivers. That's all you need to know. They've given up some huge numbers versus receivers this year. I think CeeDee Lamb goes over 71.5. He's gone under this in 3 straight. If you look at that, you're going to think, well, why would I ever go over this? There's a reason. He is going to get fed the ball. He has a great matchup. So that's a lean for me, over 71.5. But my best bet is the Cowboys money line to take care of business in LA. And oh, by the way, the Cowboys will have home field advantage in this game. It's the LA Chargers. Los Angeles, guys. They are not dedicated fans. Cowboys fans will be up and down that stadium rooting on the Cowboys. So just something to keep in mind that it will be pretty much a Cowboys home game. So give me the Cowboys money line. That's what we got for the Monday Night Football best bet. There it is, guys. That's NFL Week 6 and the Monday Night Football preview. I know it was a rough weekend. We've had a good year so far, year to date. Just stay with us. We will bounce back. I know that. We will keep grinding all week long. And also, just a reminder, I will be on the road on Wednesday. I did not mention that yet. So we might have a weird, little different looking video, but we're still going to give you bets. We're still going to give you trends. We're going to give you all that. So thank you guys for all the support. Hopefully, you guys enjoy that Monday Night Football game, and we'll talk to you soon.